Hello everyone. I see that you are joining. I'm glad to see you all here. So today we continue our preparation, and today we have already topic number 11. Can you imagine? So today we're going to talk about health. We will revise with you some key vocabulary that you might need during your exam, and also we will practice some reading tasks. So I suggest that we start with the reading. So let's recollect. So reading is section number 2 in your exam. It goes after listening and it contains 4 tasks. I hope that you remember there will be overall 22 questions. Yes, so let me recollect just you that task number 4, there are 5 questions, and that is a task for matching. You remember when we have short text like advertisements and we need to match them, yes, with the main idea, so what they are about. Then we have task number 5. There are also 5 questions, and it is a type of a multiple choice task. It looks like this. It's quite a big, let's say, long text, yes, and you have 5 questions to the text, and there to each question you have got 4 variants, and you just need to answer this question choosing the correct variant. Once we have practiced this task with you, I hope you remember. Then there is task number 6, and that is also a matching task, but it is more complex, let's say. There you've got quite a long text again, and the task again is to match, yes, the main idea or the headline of the text. Usually it's a kind of separate short text, yes, and you just need to find out what they are about, but to match. But it is more complex than the first one. It's also matching, but there you will get longer text, longer paragraphs. So it's more complicated. And you have also task number 7, and that is task for filling the gaps. It's also a text. It's not that long. I cannot say that it's long. It's quite short. It's divided in different paragraphs, and your task is to complete like the sentences, yes, to fill in the gaps with the ending of a sentence, like you see an example here on the screen. Yes, so I hope you remember, we also have practiced it. Ми з вами насправді вже на наших вебінарах робили завдання 4 і завдання 5 і завдання 7. The only task that is left, and we haven't done it yet, that is task number 6. So today we're going to do task number 6, that is task for matching, and it is more complex. Насправді це важче завдання, because you have a long text. Бо там у вас є доволі великий текст для читання. So remember that in this task there are 2 extra options. Пам'ятаємо, да, що у вас будуть тексти коротенькі або параграфи, і їх буде на 2 менше, ніж варіантів відповідей. Да, тобто 2 варіанти відповіді вам не потрібні. So, how to work with these types of tasks? So first of all, you need to read all the text and paragraphs to find out what they are about. Yes, then you read the questions to see what information you need to find in this text. Звичайно, вам потрібно прочитати питання, що саме вам потрібно знайти в цьому тексті. Be attentive to details. Насправді багато помилок роблять ЗНО, тому що неуважні до деталей. Наприклад, таких маленьких, як not, да? Тобто не помічаємо not, не помічаємо префіксів, які вказують на, знову ж таки, щось opposite, знову щось не те. So be attentive to details. Then, while reading, yes, you can already choose the option that suits to the main idea of this paragraph that you have just read. But be careful here. If you see the word or the phrase in the text that is also in the question, it doesn't mean that is the correct answer. Usually they have the same words and phrases in text in order to mislead you. Пам'ятаємо, да, що такі самі слова, схожі, як є в тексті, є в питаннях, вони там для того, щоб вас заплутати. Вам потрібно шукати перефрази, синоніми, вдумуватись в деталі, в головну ідею тексту. We will see today. And as there are 2 extra options, it's really a good idea to check them when you are done with the task. So when you have done everything, when you have matched everything, there should be 2 options left. Yes, so your task is to check whether these 2 extra options do not suit any of the paragraphs or text. That will help you a lot. Yes? Тобто от в тих завданнях, де у вас є зайві відповіді, варіанти відповідей, коли ви вже зробили завдання, перевірте, щоб ось ці 2 зайві варіанти вам не підходили до жодних з текстів або до жодного параграфу. Да? Тобто ви так виключите вже помилку так точно. So, let's go to the task. Usually, the instructions are like that. So, read the text below. Match the choices AH to 2732. There are 2 choices you do not need to use. Write your answers on the separate answer sheet. Також дивіться уважно, що вам потрібно свої відповіді вказати на окремому листочку. Тобто той робочий зошит, який у вас є, ви можете там собі підкреслювати keywords. You can already cross some options. For example, while reading, you know exactly that option 2 you will use for paragraph number 1, so you can cross it. Тобто там можете креслити собі, робити помітки and especially underline keywords. So, we will do the task. You can see the QR code on the screen. So, if you want to do the whole task, because it's quite long, we will not have enough time to do that all, you can scan the QR code and do it like completely. If you want, you can do it after the webinar. I suggest we do only the half of it. Again, that is a quite long text, so I suggest we do only the half of it. So let's look at the options that we need to match with our text, with our paragraphs. So we need to find out the passages that tell us about the recommendation we need to accept in order to avoid the problem, the influence of TV commercials, D, the diet commercials, E, another important finding, G, the role of parents, and H, the fast food addicts. Я 2 варіанти одразу прибрала, тому що ми так не будемо читати весь текст, вони точно нам не підходять, тому я зробила вам трошечки простіше. If you want, you can do the whole task. So let's read the first paragraph, question number 30. Yes, and let's try to match what this passage is about, what it tells us about. So I suggest you read it and to give me the correct answer to the chat. So I hope you will need like 20-30 seconds. So please read and give me the correct answer. What do you think? What is this passage about? What does it tell us about? I see answers already. Very fast, guys. Great job. Дуже швиденько. Okay, so let's check. And that is surely G. Yes, it was quite easy because, again, while reading the text, we can see that the passage is about the parents and their role in influencing their children. So it's like clear that this passage is about the role of parents. That's very easy. Let's go to the next one. Okay, let me give you 30 seconds for that. Give me your answers to the chat. What do you think is this passage about? Нам потрібно знайти правильну відповідь, про що цей параграф. У нас є з вами варіанти відповіді, які залишили ще. Це A, C, D, E і H. Тобто прочитати потрібно параграф, зрозуміти його головну ідею, main idea, і сформулювати це от в маленький такий вираз, який у вас є в варіантах відповіді. So, we have A, D, and that is E. Why it's not A? Бачила варіанти A. So, is there anything about recommendations? Чи тут є в нас якісь рекомендації? Якщо так, можете мені написати в чат, де ви саме побачили, що тут є вам якісь рекомендації. Чи тут просто нам дається якийсь результат якихось досліджень, просто нам говориться про якийсь факт, про якесь дослідження? Чи тут даються якісь рекомендації, як можна уникнути цієї проблеми? Ага, немає, да? So we don't have any recommendations here. Why it's not D, the diet commercials? Again, do you see anything about commercials, about TV, about anything? Якщо так, то напишіть мені, де ви це в тексті бачите. So what is commercials? Це реклама, да? Реклама по телевізору. So do you see anything here? No, there is nothing about that. There is just some facts, some information about another study. I suggest you do this task like completely. Ті, хто написав варіант D, да, раджу вам зробити це завдання повністю, сканувати код і зробити завдання повністю, щоб зрозуміти, що цей варіант вам не підходить. Ну, бо якщо ви читаєте повністю текст, розуміємо, що це another study. Yes? І again, it does not give us any recommendation. Нема ніяких питань. That's just facts. Yes? There is nothing about actually TV or commercials. Yes? That's just something important, yes, about teenagers and how they behave. For example, they have poor sleep or they have lack of sleep, yes, and about their health, like about their condition, да, про їхнє здоров'я. So let's go next. The last very short paragraph. Let me give you 20 seconds to read it and give me the correct answer. Pay attention to constructions here. That's just a hint to you. Not only vocabulary, but constructions. Зверніть увагу на граматичні конструкції, на побудову речення в цьому параграфі. I see the correct answer. Вже бачу правильний варіант. Хтось дав? More correct answers. So, more, what is this paragraph more about? The influence of TV or some advice? What do you think? Is it more about the influence or about some recommendations? Try to read it again and think about that. So maybe you will change your mind. So that is A, that is recommendations. Let me explain you why. For example, implement a rule. Insist that. That is an imperative mood, да, наказовий спосіб. Запровадьте в правило, наголосіть на тому. Тобто ми зазвичай використовуємо таку конструкцію, коли кажемо комусь щось зробити, тобто даємо рекомендації, recommendation, yes. And we also have you could also. Yes, you could also means it's also a good idea. You can try that. Yes. So this paragraph is more about recommendations, not about the influence. Actually, there is nothing about the influence of TV. Yes, that's more about the recommendations of how to avoid these bad habits of watching TV and I don't know, and risking health. Okay, so as we may see, you should be attentive to details and to the main idea of the text. Як деталі, так і загалом ідея параграфу, да, важлива. Думайте, про що цей параграф більше розказує. Okay, let's try one more task. I see we have still some problems and mistakes, so let's try to do this task. Also, you can scan the QR code and do the whole task, and we will try to do just the half of it. Okay, if you're ready, then let's go. The task is completely the same. You just need to match the choices with the questions, yes, with the paragraphs or with the text. So as you remember, the task is, that we have just done, yes, it was one text, one complete text about TV, about its influence, and so on. So one idea. But it's possible that you will get different short texts. Але можливо, що у вас буде не один великий текст, да, який поділений на параграфи, а у вас будуть коротенькі тексти, різні, але в них є одна ідея. Наприклад, у вас буде інформація про різні готелі, магазини, там, про будь-що. So now we will read three short texts about some methods, yes, for improving health. So, the variants, yes, the options that we have for answers. Which method might require courage? Courage, that's мужність, yes? Which method explains your personality type? C. Which method uses a unique technique? Unique, that's something like the only one in the world, yes? Or something very different. Which method helps people to live longer? Which method links exercise to happiness? Exercise – це зарядка, фізична активність. Not like exercise we are doing now, but some physical exercise. Which method is well known in other countries? Which method focuses on family time? And the last option, which method allows you to eat as much as you like? That will be more difficult. Тут буде трошки важче для вас зробила. Я не прибирала жодні варіанти, я залишила усі. So let's try to match. So let's look at text number 1. It's called massage. Yes? So it's a separate text. It's a short text and you need to find out what is it, what it is about. What this method maybe require or explains. Yeah, so try to read this short text and tell what this method is about. So let me give you 20 seconds to read. Be attentive to details. Give me correct answers to the chat. So, what this method is about. I see the answers. So C, F. I see the correct answer already. Very good, guys. Насправді дуже швидко і дуже молодці. I hope you will do, I'm sure you will do the same in your exam. So yes, the correct answer is C, uses a unique technique. Can you please find me the evidence in the text that shows you that this answer is correct? Спробуйте знайти в тексті речення або вираз, або будь-що, що вам допомогло зрозуміти, що це от саме цей варіант відповіді. Okay. So, evidence. Find the evidence in the text. Доказ в тексті, що цей варіант відповіді правильний. Yes, I see the right answer. That is very different from other types. Yes, unique. It's a synonym for very different. Great, guys. Okay, let's go to text number 2. Work-life balance. It's a little bit longer, so let me give you 30 seconds to read it. In this text, vice versa, try to understand the main idea of this text. So, and give me the correct answer to the chat. Maybe F, G. So, yes, I see the correct answer. It's actually G, focuses on family time. Yes, this method, work-life balance, doesn't require any courage. Yes, it doesn't explain any your personality. There is nothing about personality, nothing about living longer, Да? Нічого про те, що ми можемо довше жити, якщо будемо зберігати цей баланс. Yes? So it's more about family. Yeah? So how can we find the evidence? For example, mothers can pick up their children. Yeah? So they can spend more time with their children. Why it's not F? Actually, if you think that that is F, give me some evidence in the text that misleads you to this answer. Якщо ви думаєте, що це F, скажіть, де в тексті, що вас заплутало, що вас привело до цього варіанту. Спробуйте або доказати собі, що це вірний варіант, знайти підтвердження в тексті, що цей варіант вірний, або навпаки, prove that it is not correct. There is nothing about other countries. It's just about Denmark, about only one country. There is word countries, but it just says that Denmark is in the top 3 happiest countries. Nothing about other countries, actually. That's all about first sentence. Denmark is in the top 3 happiest countries. So again, this sentence tells us about Denmark. This sentence doesn't tell us about other countries. Yes? So it doesn't say that in other countries, Denmark is known for being ta-ta-ta-ta. Yes? So it doesn't say what is happening in other countries. It tells us only about Denmark. Okay. I suggest, if you have mistakes in this task, I suggest that you do the whole reading that I gave you with the QR code. Okay, and the last one, steam bus. Yes, that's methods from Ukraine, I think. So read it and find out. Be attentive to details in this paragraph. There is an obvious evidence in this paragraph that should lead you to the correct answer. I hope you can see my screen. So, and give me your answers to the chat. So steam bus, that's, let me translate you. I hope you understand what that is. Лазня, yes? I see the correct answer. Why with a question mark? Be more confident. Більш впевненіше. That's right. A is the correct answer. Now, please text me in chat. Where in the text can you see the evidence that this variant is correct? Yes, A is correct. Yes, so please now give me the evidence. Find the evidence in the text that leads you to this answer. There is short phrase in the text. Brave, that's right. For the truly brave. Brave, it's like synonym or let's say paraphrase of courage. Мужність, yes? Great. I hope it will help you. So how to prepare for reading? Yes, read a lot. As much as you can. When you're reading, yes, not just read for pleasure or just underline some unfamiliar words. Try to think about the main idea of what you're reading. So, for example, you're reading the whole text. After each paragraph, stop and think, okay, what this paragraph is about, what it tells me about. It will help you a lot. If you have such skill to figure out the main idea of what you read, it will help you a lot on your exam. Of course, underline keywords. Like it will help you in any task on your exam. And when you choose the answer, try to analyze. Yes, analyze it and compare it with the evidence in the text. Спробуйте знайти докази в тексті, що цей варіант вірний. Да? Тобто, поки ви тренуєтесь, готуєтесь, спробуйте отак робити. Не просто вибирати і перевіряти, правильно це чи ні, а проаналізуйте свою відповідь. Знайдіть докази в тексті, що саме ця відповідь правильна. The same you should do with the options that are extra. Yes, when you are done with the task, check the extra options and find the evidence or prove that they are extra, they are wrong. So, I suggest we think about this text again, and please try to name the picture. So you have just read two texts and you have seen some words connected with health. So try to think how you would name this picture. So let's look at picture number 1. Ви читали щойно текст, там були дуже гарні вирази про здоров'я. Згадайте, подумайте, як би ви назвали ці картинки. So, you've seen these words in the text. So, what is the first picture? Sleep or surfing, yeah, because he's with a phone. You remember about another important study. It told us about poor sleep or lack of sleep. Тобто поганий сон або недостатньо сна. Okay, how would you call very active exercise? Very, very active, but with a very nice word. Vigorous. Vigorous exercise. У вас в тексті траплялося. Vigorous exercise. Or workout, also great. Okay, number 3. Yoga, yeah, might be. Number 3, that is a visit to the doctor or checkup. Checkup. Number 4, there was a very nice word when we read about the massage. We didn't call them doctors, but they were like practitioners, yes, тобто медпрацівники. And number 5, that was about also health, and that was high blood pressure. So as you understood, today we're going to talk about health. So I suggest to look at some collocations that you might see in your exam, during your exam. So let's try to look at some adjectives and let's try to match them with some nouns. Ми знаємо їх окремо, давайте їх з'єднаємо. Це будуть сталі такі вирази, які можуть зустрітися на іспиті. So let's look at number 1. So what word collocates with abdominal? Abdominal. Abdominal, number 1. Abdominal, that's something about your stomach. Yeah, that's H. Abdominal pain. Біль в животі. Yes, how would you say біль в животі? Yeah, you can say, of course, stomach ache if it's more about stomach, but you may say abdominal pain. Great. Let's go to number 2. High. Of course, blood pressure might be high, yeah, but if it's only high, it cannot be low. What can be high but cannot be low? Because blood pressure can be high or low, but what about high? That's right, high fever, висока температура або гарячка, yes? We cannot say low fever, but we may say high or low blood pressure, низький або високий тиск. Great. Number 4. Itchy. Це як свербіж, itch, yes? So, what can be itchy? Itchy, number 4. And that is F. Rash. Rash – це висип. Да, не путаємо з rush. Rush – це спішити, поспішати, спішка. But itchy, rash. Great job. Number 5. That's very common collocation. We do not say strong headache. You can say strong headache, but you may say splitting headache. Okay, number 6. Sudden. Це раптове. У нас тут залишилось не так багато варіантів, so what might be sudden? Number 6. Number 6. That's right. See. Sudden weight loss. Раптова втрата ваги. Weight loss. Not lost or whatever. Weight loss. Okay. Swollen. Swollen – це набрякші. So what can be swollen? Tonsils. Набрякші миндалини. And the last one, upset. Зазвичай upset ми кажемо, коли описуємо власні почуття. I'm really upset. Я засмучений. But what can be upset? Our stomach can be upset. Yeah, розлад шлунку, we say upset stomach. Also, it's a common collocation, so you should remember it. So let's try to put these collocations into the sentences. So let's look at number 1. Hannah's might be a sign of an eating disorder. So we have sudden weight loss, or suddenly weight loss. So which variant is correct? What is tonsils? Tonsils – це миндалини. So they might be swollen. Вони інколи набрякають, and we call them swollen tonsils. Okay, that's right. A is correct. Sudden weight loss. Why I put this example here? Чому я цей варіант вам поставила, це речення? Be attentive with weight and weigh. Weigh is a verb, да, without letter T, but weight is a noun. So be attentive here. Частенько помилка трапляється в цьому, бо плутаємо, що ж дієслово, що іменник. Запам'ятовуємо, що іменник – вага зі літерою Т в кінці. Okay, number 2. Please be quiet. I cannot bear any noise today. I have and that's right, splitting headache. Not split it, but splitting. Чому може допомогти? Пам'ятаємо, якщо у нас суфікс ing, то ми говоримо про якусь річ, щось неживе, не про власне. Да? The same with the headache. Bear any noise. Also very good collocation. Я не можу виносити ніякого шуму сьогодні. Okay, number 3. The food at that new restaurant has given me an something about stomach, I think. And be attentive. You have article an. Guys, you have article an. So it can't be variant B because we have an. So that's right, that is C, an upset stomach. While doing your use of English tasks, pay attention to articles. Звертаємо увагу на артиклі, вони вам допоможуть правильний варіант вибрати. Because it cannot be B, because we have article an. So the next sound should be vowel. Okay, let's go next. Whenever I eat chocolate, I come out in incredibly all over my body. That's right, itchy rash. Very good. Let's go next. Number 5. Today it dropped to 90 over 60 and I felt dizzy. Drop, what does it mean to draw? It means to reduce, yes, to decrease, тобто падає. That's why that is C, low blood pressure. Okay, and the last one, a very with a temperature of 39 and above can be a sign of a dangerous infection. So if it's 39, that surely it's high fever. Not highly fever, but high fever. Great, I see that you all do very good. So let's go to another words about nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Okay, so let's look at them. This is quite easy, but there might be some mistakes. So, you know the word I'm exhausted. Я виснажений. Yeah? When you talk about your health, you may use the noun exhaustion, yes, тобто виснаження. The verb is to exhaust, виснажувати, and the adjective might be exhausting and exhausted. So let's do the same with health. Health is a noun, здоров'я. So healthy and unhealthy, these are adjectives. So what are the adverbs? For healthy and unhealthy, what are the adverbs? How do we form them? Бо в нас зазвичай y в кінці слова одразу асоціюється з adverb, да? Тобто як. Але в нас тут є adjective healthy and unhealthy. So what are the adverbs? Згадуємо. Healthily and unhealthily. Ні, не будуть однакові. You need to change y into I and L and add ly. Тобто закінчення ly, яке зазвичай ми додаємо до adverbs, да, воно так само і тут з'являється. Да? Потрібно це запам'ятати. Healthily and unhealthily. Окей. Nutritious and nutritional. Да? Тобто ситний. That was nutritious food. Or I have nutritional diet. Да? So how would you say харчування if you talk about your food, for example? How would you say it? Nutrition, that's right. Okay, regular, irregular. Adverbs are very easy. Regularly and irregularly. The problems are more with pronunciation here, not with the writing. Тобто тут нічого вас не має давати, да, вимовляється складновато, але так правильно. Okay, let's go to treatment. Лікування. Лікувати, to treat. What are the adjectives? There are a lot of adjectives, насправді їх більше, да? Because we know that treat is not only лікувати, but we may say treat as to, like about our attitude to someone, да? Тобто відноситись до когось якось. So, but if we talk about treatment, like medical treatment, we can use adjectives like untreated or treatable. So what do they mean? Untreated, it means to leave some diseases untreated. Тобто залишити якісь хвороби, непролікованими. Да? От непролікована хвороба призведе там до ще чогось. Yeah? So we say untreated. Treatable, that's something different. Да? Тут не запутатись. Treatable, that's something that can be cured. Тобто це якась хвороба, яка може бути вилікувана. Да? For example, cancer can be treatable, тобто рак може бути виліковний. Treatable, not treating, not treated. Да? Тобто я бачу варіанти treating and treating, це було б запросто. У нас от є able. От якщо в нас є able, тобто воно спроможне для того, щоб бути вилікувана. So, treatable. Try to recollect that. Number 10. That's very easy. To recover, це виліковуватись, and recovery. Great job. And the last one, stress. Stress. І хотілося б, щоб adjectives були такі самі, but no. We have stressful. For example, yeah, stressful life. You can remember it like this. Full of stress. Stressful. And stressed. If you talk about yourself, you should say, I'm stressed. Not stressing or whatever. I am stressed. Пам'ятаємо, що суфікс «ed» вказує на те, що ми відчуваємо. I am stressed. Great. So let's read this text and fill in the gaps with these words that we have just discussed. So we have recovery, healthy, exhaustion, stressful, regularly, nutritious, and treatment. So let's look at sentence number 1. In addition, adults who lead a life are much more likely to catch the flu. So what word out of this can suit the context? Читаємо контекст. Adults who lead a life are much more likely to catch the flu. What is the flu? Що таке flu? Це в нас грип. That's right. Тобто це має бути якийсь negative adjective, і в нас тут насправді він тільки один negative adjective. The sentence is negative, so the adjective should be negative, and that is stressful. Healthy не підходить, бо нам кажеться, що люди, які мають таке життя, вони підхоплюють грип частіше. So, that is stressful. Let's go next. The symptoms include a high temperature, a headache, a sore throat, це хворе горло, пам'ятаємо, да? A sore throat, and a feeling of, and here we need a noun. Again, we have like a list of some, let's say, disorders of some discomfort. I say exhausting, but it should be a noun, але має бути тут іменник, exhaustion, that's right. Great. Let's go next. If someone who is usually a fit and person, у нас є fit, тобто це такий спортивний. Actually, fit might be a synonym to healthy. Fit and healthy. To be honest, these two adjectives are usually used together. Насправді вони дуже часто йдуть разом. Fit and healthy, healthy and fit. Запам'ятайте, якщо у вас є fit, якщо у вас є варіанті healthy, і якщо у вас є речення з позитивним значенням, то, скоріш всього, там буде healthy. Okay, number 4. Remember, the flu is caused by a virus, so antibiotics are not an effective. Again, we have adjective, effective, and here we need a noun. We have two nouns left. У нас тільки два іменники залишились. Recovery and treatment. What can be an effective treatment? Лікування може бути ефективним. Okay, let's go next. Wash your hands with soap and water. Як? Нам потрібен adverb. Regularly. Yes? Okay, stay at home and get some rest and eat food. If we talk about food, it will be nutritious or nutritional. Great. And number 7, this advice will help you to make a speedy recovery. Швидке одужання. A speedy recovery. Запам'ятаємо, not a fast recovery, but a speedy recovery. Great, so let's finish with these words. Let's look at something more difficult and more interesting. Let's look at these 2 pictures and let's try to fill in the gaps. So she fell down and shouted out in... Her leg was broken. So she fell down, she broke her leg or anything. So what word would you put here? And we have variant 2. I have had a terrible head since morning. She fell down and shouted out in. And here we have, I have had a terrible head since morning. So what would you put in number 1 and what would you put in number 2? A hint to you. Підказка. Це щось, якась біль. Да? Тобто там вона закричала, бо їй боляче було, і в другому випадку в неї болить голова. I say the correct answer to the variant 2, but what about number 1? That's right. Thank you so much. The first one is pain and the second one is ache. These 2 words, they are actually have the same meanings. І це біль. What's the difference? Яка ж різниця між ними? So, if we talk about ache, that's something not really intensive, not really strong, and that's something that you can ignore. You can try to ignore. And it is more about continuous feeling, like continuous like condition. While when we talk about pain, it's more sudden and it's stronger. And you will probably not ignore it because it really like strong. Тобто різниця в тому, що ache, вона менш інтенсивна і зазвичай ми можемо її витерпіти, і вона більш така тривала. Pain, навпаки, це щось раптове, щось дуже болюче, що ви не можете витерпіти. So how do we use pain? We usually use pain with to have a pain, to feel a pain, to suffer from a pain. And we can also use pain as a verb. For example, to cause someone unhappiness. Але якщо ми використовуємо як дієслово, воно вже набуває такого більш емоційного значення, да? Тобто це когось робити нещасливим. For example, nothing pains like the truth. Be careful. If pain is used as a verb, it cannot be used in continuous tenses because it's a state verb. Зазвичай pain не використовується як дієслово, але якщо воно використовується, то це тільки в звичайних часах. Воно не може використовуватись в continuous, да? Або progressive. So, it pains, not it is paining. Да, воно навіть так і не звучить. But usually it is used as a noun. Але зачасту це використовується тільки як іменник. When we talk about ache, we usually associate it with some parts of our body. For example, a headache, a backache, a toothache, a stomach ache. Тобто зазвичай асоціюємо з якоюсь частиною тіла. And it also might be used as a verb. Це так само може бути дієсловом, воно дуже рідко вживається, but this verb can be used in progressive. Тобто різниця, що pain не може бути progressive, а ache it might be. But, to be honest, they are usually used as nouns. Але, чесно кажучи, вони зазвичай використовуються як іменники, тобто біль. And there is also a very nice collocation like aches and pains. That's about general condition. For example, when you talk about very old person or very ill person, sick person, you would say like she has all the aches and pains and he complains about those. Great. Let's look at this picture and let's try to fill in the gap. How can we transform this sentence, I feel ache, pain in my leg? My leg hurts. So, on the contrary, if we talk about ache and pain, they are used as nouns. Вони використовуються як іменники. But when we talk about hurt, it's mostly used as a verb. Yes? For example, my ankle hurts. I have a ache in my ankle. And also hurt may used as like to injure, травмуватися. For example, he was badly hurt in the car accident. Бачимо, що тут використовується як прикметник, тобто він був важко травмований. So, давайте підсумуємо. Ache and pain are nouns, використовуються як іменники, but hurt is mostly used as a verb and sometimes as an adjective in the meaning of injured. Якщо це хтось травмований. Okay, yes, and if we talk about hurt, it's something that caused by something outside of yourself. Тобто це ви якось травмувалися, якщо ми говоримо про injure. Да? Okay, let's go to the next pictures. So let's look at picture number 1 and picture number 2. I think I'm going to be sick and I have been feeling ill since I woke up this morning. Again, what's the difference? Звичайне питання, так в чому ж різниця? Actually, they are used as synonyms, more or less. But if we talk about British, yes, English, sick is the synonym to vomit. Yes, that's a bad feeling when something smells badly or when you eat something like not very fresh. So, but that is in British American. If you talk about, in British English, sorry, if you talk about American English, they are completely the same. Sick and ill, they both mean not feeling very good. And they both can be used with the verbs to be sick or ill, to become sick or ill, to feel, to look, or to seem. If you talk about sick, you may also use to get sick. Great. Also, a very good collocation here, like a phrase, to be off sick or to be out sick. It means to be absent somewhere, for example, at school, at university, or, for example, at work. It means to stay at home because you are sick or ill. Okay, but there is a very, let's say, great difference when we talk about sick and ill, when we combine them with a noun. Да? Тобто sick, ill – це ж у нас прикметники. От коли ми їх поєднуємо з іменником, тоді вони мають велику різницю. So let's look at this sentence and let's say which variant is correct. She's been looking after a sick or ill child this week, so she is not at work. So what is correct? Sick or ill in this sentence? What do you think? Sick or ill? Give me your variants to the chat. Sick, ill. More sick. Бачу, що більше варіантів sick. That's right. If you combine it with a noun, якщо ви кажете, що хвора людина, хворий там хлопчик, хворий будь-хто, у вас є іменник, то це тільки sick. Ill is not used. Тобто в цьому випадку ill вам не підходить. Так само, якщо будете робити завдання на екзамені. Yes? Because we have a. I'm sorry, да, тут мій артикль трошечки не так дав зробити. But, yes, that is a rule. Взагалі це правило. Да? Якщо у вас навіть в іспиті буде інколи стояти a, а в дужечках n, і у вас буде варіант і sick, і ill, то знаєте, якщо після нього йде іменник, that's only sick. Там може бути тільки sick. So, let's try to practice a little bit, yes? So, let's try to fill in the gaps. We know a lot now. Ми вже тепер багато знаємо. So let's try to fill in the gaps and pay attention to more collocations. Yeah? While you're reading, I will comment on some more collocations. Fell ill. Захворіти, да? Нібито fall – це ніби падати, but to fall ill, that means захворіти. A runny nose. Нежить. Runny, not running or whatever. A runny nose. A splitting headache. Ми вже знаємо з вами. Це сильний такий гострий біль в голові, головна біль. To stay in bed. Чому я виділила цю колокацію для вас, це словосполучення? Because we don't have any articles here. Помилка зазвичай, коли bed вважаємо гаш цей іменник, нам потрібен артикль no. Stay in bed without any articles here. Pay attention. Took temperature, да? Take temperature, to take temperature, вимірювати температуру, to take, not to whatever, to measure or whatever. Blood pressure, це тиск в нас. Gargle and cough medicine. Gargle, very strange word as for English, but nevertheless, gargle це полоскання. Yes, when you have cough or sore throat, you need some medicine, like gargle medicine для полоскання. And follow instructions, follow recommendations, да? Слідувати інструкціям, рекомендаціям лікаря. So, let me show you the words and let's try to fill in the gaps. So, let's look at number 1. I had a high temperature, a runny nose, and what do you think? What can be here? So, a high temperature, a runny nose, and usually we say, and a sore throat. That's right. І зазвичай, якщо йде ось така, такий перечень, такий лист, да? So we usually have a sore throat. Not ill throat, не хворе горло, не ill, не sick, але sore throat, запам'ятовуємо. My whole body, something like, все тіло боліло. So how would you say it? В мене боліло все тіло. Ми знаємо, що біль, боліти, в нас є слова pain, ache, hurt. So what you put here? And I think the correct answer was aching. Пам'ятаєте, я вам казала, що якщо ми говоримо про pain, як використовується як дієслово, це більш про емоційну якусь біль. Hurt – це більше як травмуватися, пошкодитись. Yes? So aching. My whole body was aching. Number 3. My mother me a cup of hot tea. That is like a collocation. My mother fixed me a cup of hot tea. That is a state collocation that you just need to remember. Fix – це взагалі ремонтувати, щось ставити на місце, but if you are using about like, yeah, I see the correct answer. Fixed me a cup of hot tea. Very good. Let's go next. Number 4. My mother told me to stay in bed and what did she do? Викликала лікаря. And she called the doctor. Very good. Number 5. The doctor came, took off his coat, and put on his white. So what did he put? And that is variant. H, gown. Халат. Great. Let's go to number 7. The doctor asked me to the waist. Роздягнутися по пояс. Not take off my clothes. Да? Ми знаємо, зняти одяг. But if you talk about doctors, visiting a doctor, you would say to strip to the waist. Okay, let's go to number 7. He examined my lungs, легені, my throat, took my. What can we take? We can take temperature and we can take pulse. І пульс перевірити. To take pulse and temperature. And my blood pressure. А тут уже not take, а тут уже не take. Here we have a different word for blood pressure. And that is measured. Measured my blood pressure. Finally, he said that it was a light case of, and here we need some illness, I see, like, якесь захворювання тут потрібно, and we have only one variant that might be correct. Flu, грип. A light case of flu. Okay. He wrote for some gargle and cough medicine. So what can he, like, what could he write? What could he write? He wrote that's right, a prescription, recept, a prescription for some gargle and cough medicine. Okay, я вам прочитаю ось це. A slip for X-ray and blood examination. Then he, number 11, he he recommended to apply some glass cups and mustard plasters. Це гірчичники, можна здогадатися, да? Ми знаємо, що таке mustard. It would be easier, glass cups. I followed all the doctor's instructions and very soon I felt much better. I fully recovered. That's right. In 8 days and resumed my studies. І поновив мої навчання. Great. Let's look at some more. Let me skip it. Yes, you can take a screenshot of these synonyms. Yes, just in case you will need it. I want to share with you some more interesting words that you usually confuse. Давайте то пропустимо трошки, а поговоримо про ще слова, які можуть заплутати. Да? So let's look at this picture. What are the hospital staff doing? What do you think? What are they doing? So we have a doctor, a nurse. So what are they doing? They are treating. Вони лікують. They are treating the patient. So actually there are 4 verbs that can be confused when we talk about like treatment. Let's say, yes. So these verbs are to recover, to heal, to cure, and to treat. So let's try to match them with these definitions. What is the first one? Is used for giving medical aid. So when we give someone medical aid, we say that we treat them. Лікуємо, treat. Let's go to number B. It's typically used for injuries and wounds, not diseases, when the injury gets better naturally by the body's own processes. Тобто щось загоюється, виліковується само по собі. So what do we say? Heal, cure, or recover? Heal, that's right. So actually we can use this verb when we talk about some not very traditional medicine. Like излечить something like to have healing properties when we talk about some, I don't know, some herbs, for example, да, про якісь там трави, some different traditions, we say that they heal us without like medical. Or if something goes naturally by your body. Number C, when medicine completely eliminates the disease and restores the person to health. So like completely, it cures. That's right. And D, describes the process of a person resting and getting back to full health after a disease or injury or surgery. Like if we talk about ourselves, we recover. Great. So let's do it very fast, I think. So let's try to look at these examples and let's match them, yes, with cure, heal, treat, or recover. So let's look at number 1. Read the sentences and think which verb can suit to both sentences. It took him a month from the injuries he suffered in the car crash, and I have a really bad cold, and I'm staying home from work today to So what's used here? What do you think? Recover. That's right. Тобто вилікуватись. Great, let's look to number 2. The doctor, the girl with antibiotics, it was difficult to patients because of a shortage of medicine. Number 2. If you have a doctor and patient, usually the doctor treats, yes? So the doctor treated the girl and it was difficult to treat patients. Лікувати, the process, yes? Great, let's go to number 3. It was just a minor cut, in a day or 2. If we talk about that something is like getting to the order by like natural processes, само по собі зажило, let's say, like this, without any medicine. We say that it like heals, yes? So heal, number 3, and number 4, it is cure. Let me read you this example. Scientists have not yet found a for AIDS. So cure may be also used not as a verb but as a noun. Great. So I see that we don't have enough time to do all the exercises, unfortunately, but let's sum up. So, do you need to check extra options in reading? Do you need to look at extra options in reading? When you are done with your task, do you need to check those extra options? Is it a good idea to check them, to waste your time for that? Чи варто витрачати час, щоб перевірити? Yes. Because, again, якщо ви собі самі докажете, що ці два варіанти відповіді вам не підходять, ви вже можете уникнути деяких помилок. Great, let's go to number 2. Is it a bad idea to translate every word in reading? Do you need to translate every word in any reading? No, surely it's a bad idea. Yes, it's a bad idea to translate. You need to be attentive to details. Потрібно, бути уважним до деталі. Yes, you need to understand the main idea, but you don't need to know the translation of every word. Насправді, не звертайте так багато увагу на переклад while you are preparing. What is more important? The more important is like word chunks, word collocations, prepositions that we use with words. When you are learning new words, do not learn only translation. Learn some other things. Тобто не вивчайте слова тільки з перекладом. Переклад вам не допоможе на іспиті. Звичайно, він вам допоможе, якщо ви будете знати переклад. Але важливіше знати, з яким, наприклад, прийменником використовується те чи інше слово, які в нього є синоніми, яку форму він приймає, в якій конструкції він використовується. These are more important things. Let's go to number 3. Is ache usually sharp and sudden? Is ache usually sharp and sudden? No. Pain is usually sharp and sudden. Ache is usually something we can ignore, and it's something that continues for some time. Okay, number 4. Can all diseases be treated and cured? Number 4. Can all diseases be treated and cured? Чи всі хвороби можуть бути вилікувані і лікуватися і бути вилікуваними? No. No. Yes, we can treat all diseases, but unfortunately not all diseases can be cured. And number 5, the word illness is more general than disease. Yes, we haven't discussed it, but try to remember that illness is just general state of being not well, feeling bad or whatever. It's like your general feeling, general condition. When you talk about disease, it's something more specific. It's usually has some treatment already. Тобто, коли ми кажемо illness, це загальний ваш стан. Тобто, це загально ви почуваєтесь себе погано. When we talk about disease, а коли кажете disease, це маєте на увазі якусь конкретну хворобу, серйозну хворобу, до якої у вас вже є діагноз, до якої у вас вже є лікування. So, thank you so much for your time. I hope it was interesting. Please prepare for your exam. And see you next Thursday. Have a great evening. Goodbye.